hold your nose on this one. I'm going to take the point here with the Carolina Panthers at home, hosting the Miami Dolphins. And number one, okay, Dolphins on a short week on Monday Night Football. They got their first victory of the season, got the monkey off of their back, but it did come at a cost, right? It was Tyreek Hill that pretty much shattered his knee, unfortunately. Did have successful surgery on it. Agent said he'll be ready to go next year, so he's gone for the year. Um, then it's Jaden Waddle. It's I think it's Malik Washington. The depth is very thin at that wide receiver position. I know they got Darren Waller back last week, who found the end zone twice. But you take a look, number one, at the numbers for this Dolphins team, especially on the road over the course of the past couple of seasons here, and it hasn't been very pretty. So since the 2021 season, the Miami Dolphins are just 13-24 on the road, 35.1% straight up. And this Carolina team, they're coming off an embarrassing loss against the New England Patriots, where they did give up 42 points. But I think I mentioned this last week with Bryce Young. Bryce Young, he's starting to take those baby steps as far as being maybe a competent, I don't want to even say average NFL quarterback. They do get Xavier Legette back this week. That'll obviously help him at the wide receiver position there. But it's just the fact that makes me nervous that, Tua under pressure, we've seen the struggles, especially in the first three games where he had costly turnovers, especially in the fourth quarter. And typically when I see teams that get embarrassed by 3+ touchdowns, 4+ touchdowns, as the Panthers did, that's a team that I want to back the following week, especially being at home. This Dolphins team, I still think that Tua's not the future quarterback for this team. I think a couple more losses that we'll start talking about, if we haven't already, that Mike McDaniel's already on the hot seat if he wasn't already. And you take a look at last week, right? There was opportunities for that Jets team to win that game. If it wasn't for some fumbles early in that first half against the Miami Dolphins, where it's created some short field opportunities for the Miami Dolphins to, find the end zone and get those touchdowns. And I think there was opportunities there as well late in the second half for the Jets there, but they just weren't able to get to the window there. Justin Fields had a fantastic game on the ground, and the rushing attack was very good for the Jets there as well. So I think that's going to be the key this week, that if the Panthers are able to control the clock, they're able to run the football effectively, and if Bryce Young is able to make those throws, I'm not a believer into. I think that he's going to continue having mistakes throughout the season, which is going to be the demise of this Miami Dolphins team. I'm going to take the Panthers getting the point here at home, guys, against the Miami Dolphins here, Uncle Dave.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. I would love to disagree and give our listeners some, food for thought the other way. But, I do like to simplify things. How can the Miami Dolphins defense be favored on the road? I mean, you mentioned it. That game last week, they gave up they gave up over 400 yards to the Jets, and the
Yeah.
offense only put up only 300. And we know how bad the Jets defense has been. I mean, you mentioned it. If the Jets don't fumble it 3 times, and I believe they had over 100 yards. I think they had 13 penalties. And then Miami doesn't win that game. We're looking at an 0-4 team. We're looking at McDaniel's last game. We might be anyway. So I'm just kind of looking at that. I mean, I can't, in good conscience, bet on that Miami defense. And I probably would say that if Tyreek Hill were playing. I mean, I don't think the score, New England and Carolina last week, I mean, it was pretty ugly, but, the Patriots ran a touchdown, punt back for a touchdown. I don't know that score was totally indicative. I mean, Carolina outgained the Patriots and ran for over 100 yards. They didn't turn the ball over. My point was, going into this, I'm not auto betting fading Carolina like half the planet wants to do. And it's kind of one of those. I don't like to bet on teams to do things they haven't done. And you mentioned it. That would be betting on Miami winning on the road with a piss poor defense. I'm not doing it. So I'm with you, Manaf.
Yeah, also just to recap about the Jets last week, 13 penalties, which resulted in 101 penalty yards there to only 6 penalties and 40 yards. So You parlay that with the turnovers that they had, the fumbles and the penalties, and a lot of it was pre-snap penalties for this Jets team. And you look at the offense, right? Uncle Dave mentioned the yardage situation, or the difference, I should say. Plus 104 in favor of the Jets, had 7.1 yards per play last week, compared to that to 5.4 for the Miami Dolphins there. So maybe we could call it a fluky a win there for the Dolphins last week, but I'm gonna take that and fade them this upcoming week here. Mac, any thoughts for the Panthers and or the Dolphins this week?
Yeah, I also agree that the Dolphins win. The three fumbles from the Jets was pretty fluky, much needed for their sake, but definitely not indicative of them being what we thought in the preseason, which is average-ish team, maybe slightly below average, but not what we expected the Panthers to be, which is terrible. The Panthers kind of haven't been that terrible. Again, no team is going to lose by 29, and that's like what was expected. You're going to have some bad bounces there. But just to put a pin on it, how unlucky it was that it was such a big blowout is if you look at Kevin Cole's adjusted score, a guy that gets into all the analytics, it was Patriots by one. If you look at PFF noise canceled score, it was Patriots by three. So statistically, it was probably a loss, but not a significant loss. So if they were downgraded from last week, and the Dolphins are upgraded, that might be two signals that are both incorrect from the market that we could potentially be taken advantage of here. I'm not sure that the Dolphins are as bad as they've looked, so I'm going to stay away from this game, but I wouldn't be shocked if they are.